What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Beyond the Backboard Podcast. I'm not sure what episode it is, but thank you guys so much for tuning in on this episode. We got a lot going on in the NBA so far. What are we going to start off with today? Because there are genuinely so much to go over that happened within just the week that itself. So, what do you guys think?
Obviously, we're coming off free agency. We touched on that heavy in the last episode. So if you want our main free agency recap, go ahead and check that out. But there have been a couple moves that have happened since then. Starting off, I think the first move chronologically that happened, or first significant move, was Cam Whitmore going to the Washington Wizards for, I want to say, 2 second round picks,
seconds,
basically.
Wow.
So Washington getting Cam Whitmore on a pretty cheap deal. How do y'all feel about that?
He's going to be a building mode.
Good for Washington, man. I'm not gonna lie, Washington could be a top. They can be a top 8 seed. Like I'm talking about, like 8th seed exactly. 8th exactly. They can be an 8 seed with the team that they have now. They got CJ McCollum, Malcolm Brogdon, Marcus Smart, Bub Carrington, Keyshawn George. They just got Cam Whitmore.
This
team is not bad. They still have Alex Sarr.
Every single one of those people that you just named, other than Alex Sarr, their guards are their guards.
Wait, who though? Who'd you name?
Their guards.
The Wizards. They have Chris Middleton, Malcolm Brogdon, CJ,
guard,
Keyshawn George. They got what's the rookie? Trey Johnson.
Guard.
This team is not that bad to me.
Guard.
I don't think they're that bad. They are very guard heavy.
You can mix some of those.
Maybe two. Maybe two.
Cam Whitmore could play wing.
Okay, so name me. So
Maybe.
Jay, name me. I do like the Cam Whitmore sign. Like
I do like them
on paper. But name me. You said they could be an 8 seed. Name me the 7 teams that they're going to finish better than, or they could realistically be in this game.
You mean if they're 8? So
6 technically.
All right, so
no, 9,
they're going to
10,
be better.
12, 13,
the
14,
Nets are
15.
the Nets are horrible.
Oh my bad. I thought it was.
Okay, so Nets. I'll give you the Nets. Nets are 1.
The Hornets are bad.
Okay, Hornets.
The Bulls. Oh my God, my Bulls are so bad. The Bulls are so bad.
Probably. Okay. I mean, Bulls usually get in the play-in, but okay, maybe they're a 9 or 10.
This year, I like the Wizards over my team. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay. That's a fair take. That's a very fair take.
Who else? I'm blinking right now. Teams in the East.
We said Brooklyn. We said
Brooklyn, Charlotte, and Bulls. That's 3 teams.
Okay. That's 3 teams. Pull up Eastern Conference teams for us real quick.
Okay, well, I'll pull them up.
Like they can get 8 seed exactly. Like
okay, I hear you, but again, to do that, you got to be.
Yes, they have to be better than 7 teams.
Okay, are they? Okay, I'll give you this. Are they better than the Raptors next year?
Yes, Raptors.
I don't think so.
I think
the Raptors were plagued with injury upcoming this year, and on top of that, they just got Brandon Ingram. I'm sorry, they're not.
I don't think it's a clear.
Oh, Brandon Ingram! Oh my God!
I'm just saying,
Brandon. I hate that roster. Bro.
Okay, all I'm saying is
Ingram! Oh my God!
If you add Brandon Ingram to a core of R.J. Barrett and Scotty Barnes, let's just see what happens. He was just injured last year. Let's just see what happens.
I don't think they're clear cut.
What you're saying is this:
over Toronto.
If I add a piece of premium wood to a campfire, the fire is just gonna magically just shine brighter when I burn it all.
That's not what I'm saying, but the fire may last a little longer, depending on the type of wood.
How much longer, though, because of that one piece of wood?
I don't know. That's why we have to see.
Okay. All right.
So they're going to be better. Saying anything else.
50-50 Toronto.
All right, so Hornets, Nets, Bulls, Heat, trash.
Okay, Heat, fair, yes.
Okay.
50-50 Toronto. And then I don't know what the Pacers are going to be.
I think the Pacers are actually going to fall out because of Tyrese Halliburton.
I think the Pacers.
So that makes sense.
Below the Wizards, though, I don't know. Unless they're
trying. You never know.
That's the only reason we're saying that is because of Tyrese Halliburton and his injury.
Obviously, yeah.
And then they lose. Also, Jay Huff will be their starting center next season. So I don't have a lot of faith in Jay Huff. So. I think the Pacers are not going to be good next year. It might be like 9th or 10th.
Look, I'll say this.
I think they'll be top 6. I'll be honest.
I like what the Wizards are doing. Obviously, you're at the point where you're trying out youth. I'm all for the youth movement because what happens is you've accumulated so much talent. I feel like obviously they're not going to keep all of them, but they all have some type of value. Like let's say that realistically, some of these guys do good, others do okay, and then the last bit of people just don't perform well. You still have a market where they have a lot of wings on that team, which I expect them to move some of them. They could trade just like they did before around trade deadline. They got off of some contracts. They could trade CJ McCollum and all those guys and get off those contracts. Chris Middleton as well. I'm not sure what his contract looks like. I don't know if he's expiring or not. I can't remember. but like you can move off of those contracts throughout the season depending on how they play.
100%.
So I think the Wizards are in a perfect spot. They're really right now. They're at the point where they're trying to find their star in the amongst of all these like diamonds in the rough. They're trying to find these stars so they can build around that guy and see what happens in the future. And I think they're in a really great place. Like there's no pressure in Washington. Guys out there can go ball. They can just go play. You don't have a Kuzma on your team hogging up possessions. Jordan Poole's gone as well. You don't have that. Like it's all young or nothing. And then you have them surrounded by vets who are great vets. I feel like Chris Middleton, I think is a great vet. CJ McCollum, I feel like is a great vet as well.
CJ McCollum, wasn't he prior president to the Basketball Players Association?
Yeah, like those are good guys to have around your roster as far as like a rebuilding team. I feel like even if they don't stay, just passing that knowledge on throughout this season as long as you're there, I think it's a perfect move for the Wizards. I think they're doing a great job.
So, Earl, I like everything you just said. Oh, wait, go real quick, Max. I kind of have an off-topic.
No, yeah, you're good. I was just gonna say, like, I do agree with Earl. Like, I think they are in a good spot. Like, right now, I kind of compare the Wizards right now to where the Thunder were at the start of rebuild. It feels like they're doing a very similar thing with they're kind of in phase one of their rebuild, which is get as many young players in the door as possible and take on expiring contracts as long as you're stockpiling picks along with it. Because I think they got picks with Middleton. They got a second rounder or something with McCollum. They just traded Kelly Olynyk to get Malachi Branham in a second. So they're kind of in that stage of their rebuild. So I agree they're in a good place. Like they have a lot of promising young talent. I think Whitmore is going to have a really good season for them. I think he could very well be one of those pieces they build with long term. I just don't think that right now they are trying to win. Like I think they would honestly rather finish at the bottom than be an 8 seed. And they're not going to play the veterans big minutes. Maybe they'll be around the team, but like Earl said, I doubt they're going to be sacrificing Cam Whitmore minutes to play Middleton 35 a night. I don't think they're going to sacrifice Kaishan George to play McCollum 35 a night. And it wouldn't shock me if those guys are just they just play a little bit for a couple months and then they get traded in December, January, February. So I don't think they're built to win right now. I think they're in a good spot, but I don't think they're trying to shoot for an 8 seed right now.
My only argument to that one is it, and I'm going back to Earl's kind of statement here. My bad is a little bit of how hard is it actually going to trade CJ McCollum? I don't think he's on the best contract ever. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
He's not. But I think it is an expiring. So if you're
maybe you
take the risk.
But how much are you willing to give? Like, how much are you willing to give up to get CJ McCollum off of Washington, 36, 37 years old, coming off?
I mean,
let me correct.
Honestly speaking, it's not that it's gonna cost you a lot of assets. It's just more so if you have the money to bring them on. To be completely honest, it's probably just going to cost a pick or two.
My bad, 33.
It's probably just going to cost a pick or two. Knowing the Wizards, because that's what they usually do. They hold these type of veteran players and they trade them away for picks because they can. Like they have the flexibility to do stuff like that.
However, it will be easier to move on from Chris Middleton. So I could see that happening in the season definitely for them to have more minutes for Keyshawn George and a lot of those wing players. But I'm also looking at it as Earl is looking at it as well. These are a lot of great vets. CJ McCollum, Chris Middleton. These are all guys that have stuck on teams that have been really good and really bad and have stayed at the same level of consistency in the way they act and in their worth ethic.
So what is CJ's exact salary this
season? $33 million.
Yeah.
So I literally just thought about this.
And it's an expiring, right? It'll be done after this year.
But I literally just thought about this.
I believe so.
I literally just thought about this on the fly. Say the Magic season is not going as expected. I expect Magic to have a great year. They can get off a Jonathan Isaac contract and bring on a CJ. Like Jonathan Isaac is getting $25 million this year, and Jonathan Isaac cannot play over 20 minutes a game. I can see the Wizards be like, "Hey, we'll take JI, another vet, pay him for the rest of the year, and then have him go wherever to bring in CJ to the Magic, come in, do some work off the bench." I can see that happening this season. Like they're gonna try. They're gonna because that's one team that can take that contract.
But then you also have to ask the question: is the money going to work into it? Because while the Washington Wizards don't look like a winning team by any means, they have a lot. They have some contracts that they kind of have to shed. So
but if you're trading away McCollum, okay. Ideally, right? It also does depend on apron as well, right?
100%.
So if you're shedding a $33 million, now I'm not talking about like them I'm talking about like trading to the other team because I think it's like you can't trade away more salary than you bring back.
You can't aggregate. That's the subject they use. You can't aggregate contracts unless they're like dollar to dollar amount.
Yeah, but like looking at the roster too. That is something they could potentially look at, because if that's like a $25+ million contract, you can pair that with somebody else. Or if it's the Wizards, I think in some situations maybe they're allowed to take in less. I don't know how it works, so maybe they could move that and then get a pick out of it. I don't know.
Depending on how much room they have, depending on how much room the team has.
That is true. Because I'm also looking at the roster as well. They have a lot more vets than that. They got Malcolm Brogdon as well. They still have Marcus Smart on the roster, so I'm assuming both of those guys.
Is Brogdon on?
Yeah,
Brogdon's still
I
there.
think
Him and
we may see
CJ
another.
are 1,000% getting traded this season.
No, they're getting traded before the season starts.
I think one of them gets traded.
Brogdon and Smart are, yes.
Yeah, Brogdon.
Smart.
Brogdon
yes.
is like, I know he's like,
I agree.
Super
completely.
injury prone, but he's a very competent bench guy. Like he can come in and give you 12 to 15 off the bench. Like,
yeah,
I can see the Clippers doing something with him or anybody because they're doing a
his
lot of
contract is at $22 million. Smart's contract is at 20 right now. So
Marcus Smart makes $20 million.
Yeah, I think that's
he's
back
still
from
on
the
that original
Celtics days.
contract.
Yeah, I think he may sign to a vet minimum as soon as he's off of that, though. So.
Unless they do a buyout, which I don't know. Probably
but that doesn't
not.
get them anything. I think they probably will be traded
for sure.
And if not, like again, it's an expiring deal. So if they can't get a buyout, they'll just pay him this year and then
just 1 year. Yeah, I'd do that. Like Marcus
Smart, or they'll either do that or they'll be like, okay, if you take like a cut, we'll do a buyout for you, because he was there the end of last year as well. So this is what the second year he's pretty much been on the team, kind of, even though he didn't play last season. So they could be willing to do a buyout. You never know with some team.
That's why I think Dame next team, he's gonna take probably like $10 million or less because he's getting so much money in that stretched out payment. Like
I agree,
he's gonna take a little money. He's gonna be good.
Take a big pay cut considering he's already getting paid and just go somewhere that fits him.
If he wants to win a chip, if he really wants to win, he's gonna take a cut. He has to. Everybody's getting paid on these good teams, so
it's. I think it's more about being able to fit him on the books because he has more of a reason than anybody else to kind of just take less money and continue walking. Because at least for the next 5 years, and at least for the next year, he's going to be sitting down, and you don't know what's going to happen over the case of a year. So,
but this is the question I was going to ask you guys.
Get your bag.
Who do you think is in a better situation right now for the future out of the Wizards and the Jazz? Like which future's looking brighter? Because the Wizards are cooking.
I think the Wizards are a little farther along their rebuild. It feels like the Jazz are just now starting. I think Washington's kind of been on that train for the last year, or at least since the deadline. I think since the deadline they've like officially started their rebuild. It feels like Utah, like they still have to move on from Markkanen. They still have questions with Kessler. Like they got Collier and Taylor Hendricks is playing this year and Keyshawn George. Like they have a few more question marks, I feel like, than the Washington. Like Washington's direction is clear. I don't know that Utah's direction is. I
don't know if Washington's direction is clear, but
I think it's clear. I mean, we just spent 10 minutes saying
there's something building, but I don't know if it's clear.
No,
right?
they are doing, like you guys said earlier, they're doing the OKC right now. Like, remember Chris Paul's Chris Paul year when they went to the playoffs? Like, they have a couple of vets and a whole bunch of young guys. Like, that is what the Wizards are doing, and they have a lot of assets they're getting in these trades. But what Danny Ainge is doing on the Jazz, he's hitting on all these young guys. I like all their young players. Filipowski, Keontae George, Collier. They just got Ace Bailey. I like all their young players. Bryce Sensabaugh. But you see what they traded Colin Sexton and John Collins for? That's the only thing that's confusing me.
That's
like,
what
they could have got so much more for those.
It doesn't
guys.
feel like their direction is clear.
I don't remember where the source is. It was on X. I'm sorry, Max, the source king. But there was something that did say that John Collins, the reason why they traded John Collins is because he was really, really effective in games. And they were winning more games with him in the lineup while they were trying to tank.
It could be the Schroeder.
He did average 19.
This could be bullshit. Okay, Source Kings.
No,
this could be bullshit.
Anybody can just say. I mean, like, is that even like forcible? It's just like, okay, that's just a speculation. Like, I can go tweet that.
But it
like, they traded him because they were winning games because he was having a good season. Like, somebody
great season.
Even on a terrible team, like there's gonna be players who play good. Like that's the essentially someone has to
Yeah.
eat up the stats, and it just happened.
And that's what happened with Quentin
difference
Grimes. Not to get on Quentin Grimes, but that's what happened.
The difference is, like, with Utah, I think it's one thing if your young guys that you're building around are the ones going off. I think in Utah's situation, like, they don't see John Collins. He's a little bit older than their timeline right now. Like, they're trying to go as young as possible, like Washington.
Mm-hmm.
They probably didn't see Collins as part of their long-term building block, so they say, like, why have him taking the minutes? Because he's better right now than Filipowski, but why have him take those minutes? You know, like, why have him take minutes away from Kessler, you know, who we're a little more invested in? So
that's
I could
legit.
see that. Like, it does make
feel
sense.
like,
And it's the same thing in Brooklyn. I mean, Brooklyn traded.
Yeah,
Troy
I think they want to invest in the development.
So,
bro, honestly speaking, I'm on Team Wizards, bro. Like, I think they've already figured it out. I'm a huge Bilal Coulibaly fan. I don't know. I feel like he is the best.
Bilal is that guy.
He's like when I think about wings and progression, bro, like his growth, like year to year, has been really great. Like on the defensive end, he can guard. Personally, I think he can guard 1 through 4. 5 is a little bit harder, obviously, because he's not. I mean, he's still at 6'8". He's 6'8", so like he can guard 1 through 4 comfortably, and he can switch to a 5 and maybe play fake defense for a possession or two, but not like for like a whole game for sure. But I just think.
But yeah,
you got
on.
Like y'all, you know,
I'm just saying you're not gonna go and put him at the 5 to play 5.
No, exactly,
that's what I mean.
Right. Yeah.
Like I seen Shea get switched on the center, and he can go vertical with a center. Like he can contest the shot. That's what.
There's a big gap between Shea and Bob. Let's be real here. Shea and Bilal. Sorry.
No, what I'm saying though, like he's a
but you're
guy,
saying,
but he
like,
go vertical and get a block. Like he's not gonna just
do it. Yeah,
he's not food.
Not sustainable for a whole game, but like
he's not food on.
Yeah,
he's one of the best perimeter defenders of this season. Like this season,
easily,
guys. He's gonna be good this year. I completely forgot about him, and I named a whole bunch of guys.
Yeah,
my thing is like once he gets consistent with that 3, I think that's his next evolution. I think first of all, I think he's gonna have a big jump this year. First year he was averaging 8.4 points per game. Last year he put up 12.3, and I'm gonna go ahead and put up a hot take prediction. I think this season he's gonna average around 17.8 points per game. That's my floor for Bilal Coulibaly.
That's a floor?
That's a great take. That's a great take, and I'll explain why.
Floor.
Jordan Poole is out of the picture. That's the only thing I have to say.
The biggest thing I'll say,
that's all I have to say.
Because I watched a lot of Wizards games last year. I was a part-time Wizards supporter. The biggest games that there was long stretches between where Kyle Kuzma was hurt, and look at Bilal Coulibaly's stats. He was averaging like 18 plus in those stretches. But what happens is when you have a Kyle Kuzma taking up possessions, taking bad shots, not playing through the flow of the game, his production goes way down. His confidence level goes way down on shots because he doesn't get as many opportunities. Now you're in a position where, hey, Bilal, you're kind of one of the main guys on this team as far as the young core. Like I get there's Chris Middletons of the world, but their focus is developing the young core. And I know Bilal Coulibaly is going to be a huge part of that. And he can stay on the floor. Like, it's not even about defense. He can stay on the floor as long as you want. So when he gets that offensive jump, which I know he's going to have this season, he is going to be one of the best young players in the NBA. Like, I put him in that tier. Like, okay, these are my defensive tiers right now. Okay. My top defensive tier right now, kind of crazy to say, I kind of have the Twins up there. I think their athleticism plus the way they okay, but I'm just making sure. I think just their massive physicality, their athleticism, and their versatility on 1 through 5. Like, yeah, legit can guard 1 through 5. Both of those guys. That's how good they are defensively. Yeah. All they're missing is a jump shot, and I feel like Bilal Coulibaly is like right under that tier as far as defense, and that's mainly just because of consistency, and it's not even that far away. So I just think those type of guys are the future of the NBA as far as like wings coming back and making a late push. And once all 3 of those guys get a consistent jump shot, like it's going to be very scary. Like those are going to be the next highest paid NBA players if they can shoot well.
I was just to add on to that. Wings are going to be one of the most valuable players to be in the NBA.
Well, they are now.
That's why, yeah. So
look at OG, overpaid OG. You have to overpay guys. No offense, OG. I'm sorry,
look,
but you have to pay a premium.
Yeah, you
got to pay a premium for wings.
Hey man, I ain't even mad about that OG signing because Philadelphia was about to take him for the same money. If anybody argues with me about that money, I'll just tell him like Philadelphia was literally gonna pay.
Even
him.
the Dorian Finney-Smith market, I can't believe you got that money, bro. Like they're paying for wings.
Prime
bro.
example.
That's 34-year-old Dorian Finney-Smith, bro. Like
34.
Yes,
bro.
He's a great defensive player,
bro.
And that's why I was excited when the Lakers pivoted and drafted a dual Thero.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's a young wing. Like, yeah, he's kind of still same problems. I don't know what it is with wings with having to develop their 3-point shot. It's kind of a common thing. I don't know why. But you have to go draft wings. Like, that's the biggest thing. If you don't draft wings, you're paying millions, tens of millions of dollars a year to keep them on your team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about what's it called? The trade for the Utah Jazz, them giving up John Collins. Obviously now he's in Los Angeles, not the Lakers, playing for the Clippers now. Do y'all like that fit? And if you want, you can also say, do you think that's more or less? Is he going to add more or less to Norman Powell?
That's one of the 5 best trades of this offseason.
Easily.
In terms of fit and what the Clippers needed. Like the Clippers did not. The only rebounder on that team was Zubac last year. Like Kawhi's not crashing boards. James Harden's not a triple-double king anymore. Like Zubac was all they had. Now they have John Collins that come in. He's averaging 19 and 8 on the whole season on the team that was not even competing. Like this season, they're gonna need him. He's gonna be big for them this year. I can't wait to see what he does, bro. Like they're gonna start. Who are they gonna start? What do you think is gonna be their starting lineup?
Probably gonna be Kawhi, John Collins, and Zoo, right? I would imagine. If they
and then with Harden at the one, and who's gonna run the 2? Derrick Jones, maybe.
Probably Derrick Jones. Yeah. I mean, that gives them 2 separate lob threats as well.
Yeah,
they still have Bogey. Still got Bogey.
I mean, I don't know if you want him starting.
So
I just don't know who else they're gonna put there. Unless, like you said,
Bogey barely starts on Olympic teams.
I love the move for them though, man. Like you can play John Collins small ball 5. Traditionally he's a power forward. Then you still have Brook Lopez off the bench. Like the Clippers are doing something this season.
The Clippers really need Bradley Beal. Like
that's who
they need, Brad.
I'm so.
I don't think anyone
think they
needs
do.
Bradley Beal.
No, but look at it like
they
this.
Can use him. I don't think they.
No, they need him, bro. Like, because when you just describe that lineup, okay, who's coming off the bench now? Nicholas Batum. Wow.
And Lopez.
Batum. Cam Christie.
Derrick Jones Jr.
I'm just saying, like, you need like that X factor off of the bench.
Chris Dunn. We're forgetting about Chris Dunn.
Yeah, I mean Chris Dunn. Yeah, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying like. Potentially adding a guy who can give you like 19 plus points off the bench is huge. Like Bradley Beal, as much as a lot of what I didn't like about Bradley Beal is how much he was getting paid.
Grimes destination, the Clippers?
Grimes too. I mean, Grimes as well if they want to pay it, but
he got
nobody wants to pay Grimes.
He got to tune that number down a couple.
Nobody wants to pay this dude.
Like, he's not getting 25 million. He's
working his way to the minimum. I'm just saying.
He'll probably wind up with less than 10 mil.
This reminds me of Dennis Schroeder when he turned down the Lakers deal and then he went to Boston.
There's a big difference there. Grimes
I mean, that's different though. He got offered that money though.
That's very true. Yeah.
He's not getting offered that money. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, sure.
And like I'm looking at this roster, like okay,
now a different LA team overpaid.
Okay, I guess and Brook Lopez off the bench as well. So
they need a guard. They need one more guard.
Yeah, they need. I'm telling you, Bradley Beal would be the perfect fit there.
I actually like that.
Chris Paul's definitely going back because he's not.
Paul is more realistic than Beal because I don't see Beal getting bought.
I see.
You can do both.
I see.
Imagine Chris Paul and Beal off the bench.
If they buy out Beal. Why would he not take the minimum? Like, dude, you're getting 50 million.
I agree with that. I just don't think he's getting bought out. I think he's gonna stay as long.
Well, think about it like this, Max.
I think he will.
The Suns now. There's nothing the Suns can do with Bradley Beal this upcoming season.
I think
so. You might as well just buy him out. There's no one's going to trade for him. There's no point in him just sitting there and doing nothing. You now have Jalen Green. It doesn't make sense to have all 3 of those guys on the roster to start the year.
No, I totally agree with you, Earl. But can't they? They can't buy him out without his agreement. You have to agree to a buyout. If he doesn't,
I agree, but I'm saying like there's going to be real conversations had, and Bradley Beal's going to have to make a choice. Like either you probably have a leap year where you're probably not going to play, or you'll get bought out.
So who has the worst no trade?
Conversations have already happened, and I think he wants to stick it to Phoenix. I think he wants.
No, I'm saying like obviously conversations have been but I'm saying obviously conclusions haven't been made if nothing's been reported yet.
Yeah, they said I saw that report like John Gambadino or something like 24 to 48 hours, and we're still here like 48 hours later plus, and nothing has happened with Bradley
Because
Beal.
it's not like people got to realize it's not just as simple as like, oh yeah, let's just do this buyout. Like it's a lot of logistics.
There's a lot of factors
in the background.
yeah.
Like things happen. Like you, which people won't talk about. Like you have conversations with potential teams you're going to sign with before you do buyouts.
Yeah,
no
like
one
if I
goes
were
and
to
buys
get
out a
bought
contract
out, here.
without knowing where they're going to sign. That's usually why when you see it, this person's bought out, and then 10 minutes later, oh, they're signing with this team, like because they've already had conversations.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to find.
Let me play devil's advocate here because on some level, what Max is saying kind of does make sense because if he does want to stay there and nobody wants him around, but he still, then we're also seeing reports of him wanting that no trade clause regardless to whatever team he goes to, and all this and all that. It was a while ago. I can't even give you that, but it was.
I can guarantee you he'll never get that again.
I think so too, but that is what is being said.
Bro, you don't get, bro. Never mind. Go ahead. Continue. My fault.
How does he have this no trade clause? Like
it was
Washington.
Washington.
The Wizards.
It was on the
I
Wizards.
don't know.
Gang.
The two worst moves.
And I just want to say, why doesn't Bradley Beal just sit down and just earn the money that he's owed? Like he could just straight up do that.
Like he will ride the bench happily this season. He's getting paid $50 million.
Yeah.
Like,
so
that's what I mean. Like I do agree with you, Earl. And you guys saying like he would be a good fit for the Clippers. I do think he would be a good fit if you can get Bradley Beal on a vet minimum and add that to the team. I think that does make this roster a lot more complete. I mean, if you're talking Chris Paul, Bradley Beal, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, that team would go 82-0 in 2018. But still, it makes them a very.
All right, I'm glad you said in 2018.
I feel like if Bradley Beal was going to be off this team, it would have already happened. I think the fact that they can't waive him because they don't have it would be too expensive to waive and stretch him. The buyout, they need his agreement. I don't think he's going to give him this agreement, this buyout. I think he's just going to say.
I think he's going to be really stingy about that no trade.
I'll triple down on this. Bradley Beal will not be a Sun before the season starts. I'm saying it right here, right now.
Deal.
He will not be on the Suns by the time the season starts.
I think he'll be a Buck out of before a Clipper. I can see him going to the Bucks.
That's another good spot.
Where's his money coming from though? From the Bucks side?
No, you buy him out and pay him minimum. Like Brad.
Can they even sign another minimum? I mean, I guess they could always trade someone away.
Yeah,
but
I mean, they have.
They have all those.
Because I just remember they got an interesting contract situation. Regardless,
they got a ghost $22 million going to somebody that don't even play for them anymore.
Then they signed like 4 or 5 minimum deals the day of free agency of random guys.
Gary Harris, Gary Trent. They have 2 Garys on the team.
You know, apparently they're.
I saw something
only in the first apron. Apparently, they're not even touching the second apron by any chance for Milwaukee, which I actually found kind of surprising.
I mean, because remember, the Dame contract goes from 50 M's a year or 60 M's a year to 22 a year. So other than that, you're paying Giannis, whatever.
Miles Turner.
50. Turner 20 and Dame 20, and then just a bunch of
Bobby Portis.
Yes, but I think that Dame contract only had 2 more years on it, right?
The Dame,
$50 million each.
But I think
$50 million each. So they technically just said, okay, instead of paying you $55 million each, we're just going to give you $6 less million a year.
Well, no, it's 20. It's 20.
Because, okay, Max, hold on, right? So you got 50. We're going to leave it at whole numbers here, 50s and 20s. You got Dame making $100 million for 2 years.
It was 120 though. It was 60.
Okay, but for the sake of conversation, I'm gonna say
I don't see the point. He's making 120. Like that's
okay. Fine. He's making 60 million. He's making 60 million for the next 2 years over the contract.
Yeah.
He breaks it down into 4, which he says he's basically saying that getting the same amount of money, probably like 5 million, 4 million, probably that apart. He's still getting the same amount of money. It's just spread across 5 years.
Omar, I understand how the wave and stretch works, but he goes from making 60 million for 2 years, that's 120, to making 22 mil for 5 years, which is also 120. But that saves the Bucks $28 million annually. No, more than that.
That's correct. Yeah, annually.
So I don't know where we got $6 million from, but it stays
because it's closer to. I'm pretty sure it's closer to 50 million, not 60 million. But I got to double check that.
Well, it's 22 a year for 5 years. So that's 110. My bad. It's 110. But
yeah, so
yeah,
he lost more than what I said. He lost $10 million.
He's still going to get the money he's owed. It just
he's still losing $10 million a year, so it's fine. But that's what I was trying to make a point. It was just like he's still basically getting the same amount of money. It's just
he's losing $33 million a year. 55 minus 22 is 33.
Yeah, let me double check the contract. I don't know. We gotta go.
I believe it was a 2. Earl, you can.
When you take big money and you split big money into longer periods of time, that big money is split up into smaller money per month payments.
Or per year. I don't know how.
Per year, my fault. Per year payments.
Per year, yeah.
That equal out to a large sum of money towards the end of the 5th year, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't.
Wait, well, you said $6 million. That's not big money saving. The Bucks wouldn't have done it if it was only saving them $6 million. I don't think.
Yo,
hold on. I just have to check the contract because I don't know.
While Omar's doing that, what do we think about the Norman Powell?
Okay, so you were so. It was $54.1 million a year. It wasn't 60.
So that's more than half of it being cut. Obviously, Lillard will still get that money. It's just how much, like that opens up 30 some odd mil for the Bucks in cap space for the next 2 years. Obviously, now they have to pay him 22 a year in year 3, year 4, year 5. So they're chunking that part of their salary away, but they're robbing Peter to pay Paul kind of thing.
But on that Norman Powell pickup, I like that he going from 13th seed to 10th. It won't do much. Cannot bro. Norman Powell and Tyler Hero on the backcourt starting.
Was the Heat,
gross, bro. That is
what a forgettable trade.
That's Orange Cone Mafia over there, bro. Like, there's no way. Who they gonna guard?
I will say it is battle of the magnet ball, brothers. Like, imagine just magnet ball after magnet ball. On some nights it will get toxic, but on every other average night, they literally can't defend anyone on the other side of the ball. So
that's why I got Bam and Khalil.
Davion has to start. Like, Norm, you got to come off the bench game. He could be a 30-minute bench guy. There's some guys who come off the bench who can still run up 30 minutes. Like, Davion Mitchell has to start next to Tyler Hero because with those two starting, they're going to be a 13 seed. Like, who are they going to guard? Like, Tyler Hero, Darius Garland said it in that first round series. We just hunting Tyler Hero. Like, that's just what it is. And then when it comes to another series, they can't hunt Tyler Hero. They're just gonna hunt Norm Powell. Like, I don't know. I guess I like it because they finally have somebody over there that can score besides Tyler Hero. Bam's not really a scorer, but like this won't do much for the Heat, man. I don't know.
They didn't give up anything. Low risk.
Very, very low. Exactly. That's why I said, what are the Jazz doing? They gave up nothing.
Like, were they getting anything for John Collins? I guess. Maybe you could say John Collins is worth more than a second. They got a second. At this point, that's kind of the going rate for John Collins.
Even the Collins Sexton trade, they gave up a second and to get back Nurkic. What the fuck y'all doing? I don't know. But I don't really like the signing, Max, or the trade. What do you think about it?
I think it's I think the Clippers probably win the most here. I think they have the most to gain. I think.
Yeah.
I think Norman Powell is a better player than John Collins. I don't think that's a debate, but I think for what the Clippers need and how much they stand to benefit, I think Collins is going to help them more. Like you said, I think there is now room in the Clippers backcourt for them to go get a minimum player versus in the front court. I think that position was going to be a little bit harder to fill with what's available right now. So I like it for the Clippers. I think it's fine for Miami, like you said, 13 seed to 10 seed. Like, I don't think they're going to be a contender in the East unless there's a massive move coming that we just don't know about. But if you can get if you get more talent in the door for Kevin Love, Kyle Anderson in a second, why not, right?
Why not? It's
like it doesn't kill their cap. Not like they didn't lose no Bradley Beal.
Yeah, they didn't lose anything getting them. So,
low risk. So, there's that. We could also touch on the Lakers signing DeAndre Ayton.
Yes, we didn't. That happened when we ended the pod. So Earl, go first, bro. What you think, man? Because I have a take on it. I have a take on it.
Honestly, I think this is the best signing. This might be the best Lakers free agency signing since LeBron James. And I know it sounds crazy, but if you guys go back and look at some of the names we've signed and free agent period, it's not been great. And I watched the press conference. Aiden looked very locked in, but of course it is easy to look locked in when you sign for a new team. It's the honeymoon stage. But like I kind of get what he was saying. Like he was basically saying, I think there was one quote. Dang, what was the quote he said? Actually, I put it in my notes because I wanted to say it.
He said a lot of good things, bro. Like
He
he did.
said all the right things.
He glazed
Again,
Luka.
Yeah, he said, okay, it's not even a crazy quote, but like he basically said, when you don't win in this league, you can easily be forgotten. And I think that's a huge thing. Like even in the finals, like Ayton in the finals was a 16 and 10 plus rebound guy. Like, yeah, he had his moments where things didn't look the best, but he was a consistent scoring option for that Suns team and a great rebounder. That's what we need. People got to realize I don't care about Ayton in his what are they trying to call it? It's not attitude. That's not the word they used. Effort. It was basically his effort. Yeah, his effort on the floor. Like when you're playing with guys like Luka Doncic, when you're playing with the LeBron James, the 1% players of the world, you're going to have effort. You can't sit there and tell me his whole Suns tenure had no effort. That's just not true. Were there moments where things didn't go right? Yes. And a lot of that had to do with his rocky relationship with Monty Williams and how Ayton wanted to play a certain way. And Monty wanted him to play a completely different way. Some brand of basketball that he wasn't accustomed to playing, which obviously you have those moments. And then you go play in Portland, and no disrespect to the city of Portland, but like, let's be real. We're talking about a team even before Denny, like what was out there? Anthony Simons, like who? I mean, no offense, like to him. I mean, he's on the Celtics now. He's probably getting traded again. He doesn't play any defense. Like there was no culture in Portland. So how do you expect? How are you going to just write off that whole year and a half, however long he was there, and be like, oh, he's just not a winning player? I mean, yeah, he wasn't on a winning organization. So for me, we had Jackson Hayes, Koloko, Trey Jemison as our center rotation. I don't care what anyone in the world says. This is a 100x signing for us. Former number one pick. He's going to play great. He's going to be our starting big, and he's going to fit well next to Luka and LeBron. Easily playing with two of the best playmakers in the NBA. His life is easy. Even when he played on the Suns, the only playmaker he was playing good with, Chris Paul, which they had. I think Chris Paul was one of his top like assist to whatever ratio players he's played with. Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton. Mm-hmm. So now you have a Luka Doncic and a LeBron James on the floor. And I'll even throw in Austin Reeves, who's a good pick and roll playmaker as well. So you are going to get fed. Like you are going to be a focal point in an offense that consists of Luka Doncic easily. So this is going to be one of his easiest seasons of his career. And arguably, I'll say this will be his best season of his career. Year one, coming out the gate.
I do.
It just reminds me of Lamar Odom. Sorry, Max. Sorry.
I don't see that at all. But I do.
Just reminds me of. I'm sorry.
There is a. I think it was
because they're black.
The Lakers. It's
no.
That's the only thing I could think in common.
They're both centers and both former number one picks that eventually played for the Lakers.
Centers. Not a center.
Centers.
Forward. He's a forward center, power forward center.
Very different.
Lamar Odom was a point forward game.
My bad.
Yeah, he was not a center.
He was very lengthy. So
yeah, but
pause. But yeah,
no.
Throwing that to the side, I do think this was the right move for the Lakers. Like this was a move they needed to make. I think Ayton fits the style of center that Luka Doncic plays best with better than like a Vucevic or like a Zubac. Like Luka plays best with athletic lob threats, and I do agree. Like obviously he's a big upgrade over Jackson Hayes or Trey Jemison, Koloko. Like this was the move they needed to make. If this move fell through, the Lakers were going to be in a lot of trouble. But he at least gives them hope. He gives them a legitimate, talented, starting level NBA center. And I think the thing with effort, Earl, that you brought up, I don't think it's necessarily people saying like he doesn't put in effort when he's in the games and on the court. Like we saw, he went to the finals. You don't go to the finals with a starting center that has zero effort. I think the kind of effort they're talking about is his ambition to grow as a player, adapt, and get better. I think the biggest knock and what's held Ayton back the most in his career so far, he was a number one overall pick because he is a tremendous natural talent. He is a very naturally talented basketball player. Like he dominated his competition all the way through college, got to the NBA as the number one pick. But when you get to the NBA, there is the expectation, especially when you're drafted that high, that you're going to add to your game, that you're going to progress, that you're going to put in the work behind the scenes. I think probably the thing with Ayton, when people say his effort, I think a lot of people think he's kind of coasting on his talent, that he doesn't have the drive to get better, to develop a better jump shot, to develop a game outside of the post and adopt to the modern basketball, to play, adapt to different defensive styles and become less of just like a sit inside and protect the rim center. I think that's the effort that people have a problem with. So if that, and even without it, Ayton is still a good basketball player. He's still a good NBA player, but people wanted him to make that next jump. And I think if he's ever going to take that jump, like this is his last chance. He mentioned in the press conference, you're playing with LeBron and Luka Doncic. Now is the time to lock in. Like if there's ever motivation, if he was ever lacking motivation to really get better, he now has that motivation. LeBron will motivate him to take that next step and be the center that gets LeBron his last championship. That's a ton of motivation. So if we're going to ever see this jump from DeAndre Ayton that people have been expecting for 7 years now, it's going to be this year. And it's either going to happen and this is going to look like a great signing, or we're going to see the same Ayton that we saw the last couple of years. He's not going to add anything to his game, and maybe things will get rocky at that point. But that's a risk the Lakers have to take. They're betting on Ayton being motivated and getting better.
I think during the times that Ayton was available in Portland, I think he honestly played pretty well. I know there was turmoil over there where I remember at one point he stayed in his house because of the snow was too bad or whatever that situation was.
Why is that being used as an example?
It
was snowed in and people lack of effort from climbing out his car and going to the gym. Like what?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not using it against him. I'm using it for him.
You just did.
I'm not using. That's not using it again. I'm trying to let me explain. Then if you cut me off,
go ahead. Cook up. Go ahead.
I'm just saying that if Ayton never had the opportunity, and when he was available, he was doing great things for Portland. So I don't think it's necessarily a motivation problem, because I think in the past he's had situations where, like we said, what Earl said earlier, with Monty Williams playing him a certain type of way. And tell me I haven't been saying that for the past couple of years, where Monty Williams was playing him wrong. Was not playing him to the best of his ability and not developing him to the best of his ability. So I just think under JJ Redick, which honestly is surprisingly better than Monty Williams, I think he can unlock Ayton, and I think Luka can unlock him too, because there is so much that Luka can do, and there's I don't want to say very little that Ayton can do, because I do feel like he could do a lot. But I think Luka just unlocks like a different part of the game for him that's gonna be so vital for the Lakers. So hopefully it's a good signing, and we'll see what happens from here. But
I have a feeling it's either going to be like very good or pretty bad. I don't think he just comes in and it's an average.
So on my pod I did yesterday, Max. I did what we did last week, like biggest winners, biggest losers. Mm-hmm. I had the Lakers in the middle based on what you just said. If this Ayton signing is good, good season for the Lakers. If it's bad, it's just a bad offseason in general. Like, because they signed Jake LaRavia, but this is really their only move, Earl, right? Like Jake LaRavia is good, but like
it's their big move.
This is the move
so far. Yeah.
But I was very critical about this signing at first, because I kind of got dragged in by the media saying, oh, Luka can only play with a lob threat, and oh, you got to be able to jump like Lively and Gafford to play with Luka. Like, no, bro. Like, Ayton is one of 7 players to average 14 and 10 for his first 7 years of his career. Like, with Luka, you can even just sit him in the paint doing floaters, little jump shots. That's Ayton's bag. Like, he's going to be wide. He's going to exactly. It's not like he can't jump. Like, bro, Ayton can still dunk. He's still 26 years old. Like, he's not fucking 40. Like, people are making it seem like Ayton is just this unathletic big and he's old, and like, bro, like I'm a very big fan of DeAndre Ayton, actually. Like, we saw Giannis in that finals. He dropped 50 in game 6. He was going against a different animal. Nothing you could do with that, bro. Like, Ayton held his ground in that series. He averaged what Earl said, like, 16 and 10. He's a very solid player, bro. You put that next to Austin Reeves, because you know their guys are not going to play on the court all at the same time. You can run sets with him and Austin Reeves. You can run sets with him and LeBron, him and Luka. He's going to be a solid player on this team, bro. Like, I really like this signing. I think that in terms of defense, though, this is the only question I have with the Lakers. They're not going to be able to guard nobody, Earl. I'm sorry. Luka's a cone. Bron tries when he wants to. Austin Reeves is the cone. And DeAndre Ayton is not really a rim protector. So that's the only thing I'm afraid for the Lakers is the defense.
Yeah.
The offense is going to be nasty this year. Like, I saw this Lakers team finish top 3 in the West last season, even though the team switched in the middle of the season. AD and DeAndre Ayton is not like a whole night and day type of thing. Like, AD missed games. DeAndre Ayton is pretty available. Like, He has a pretty good track record of playing games. Like you guys said earlier, it's the effort, and if he wants to show up every night. But playing with LeBron and Luka, it's got to show up every single night, bro. So I really like the team in terms of offense. I want to see what they're gonna do defensively. If Rui's gonna play, I was just about to say that, Max. Like, is Rui gonna be there? What is he gonna do? But in terms of the signing, man, great signing. 10 out of 10 signing for the Lakers, bro. I think they hit the money on this. It was either him or Miles Turner.
Yeah.
So you got one of the two, you're good.
You miss Miles Turner, you get Ayton for a lot cheaper. I don't think.
And it's like it's one of those situations where like Ayton's worst will be floors better than Jackson Hayes at all.
100%.
Oh, 1,000%.
Bro, like what people don't understand is like we were playing handicap that whole series. Like we're talking about a guy who doesn't average more than 4 rebounds a game, and your starting lineup as your center. A guy who, on top of that, doesn't average more than 4.5 points per game. On top of that, and then you're replacing him with a guy who is a guaranteed double-double since he's been in the NBA. Like that's huge. That's game changing. Like the sets you can run, you can actually run a pick and pop, like you said. You can actually run a lob play. You can worry. You don't have to worry about if we miss, the possession's over, because that realistically that's it. We miss a shot, we're running back down on fast breaks because there's nothing. Who's gonna crash? Bron, maybe when he has enough energy to. But you're asking him to go defend and make shots as well. So chances of him getting on the glass too, that's 3 high energy production things you're asking him to do per game, every single possession. It sucks. So adding in Ayton, who I know his floor level, he's going to be a great rebound for us. I'll take it, man. And I said this before, like Jackson Hayes, cool. As a 3rd string center, whatever, throw him in for a possession or two, but I want to sit there and watch Jackson Hayes start in a game and just be ineffective. Like, I hated seeing Jackson Hayes pick up the ball at the 3-point line as if he was going to do anything out there, even mid-range. Like, what's Hayes going to do? Shoot the ball? Like, you can see the game. When Hayes touches that ball, everybody, pack the paint. There's nothing that Hayes does on the floor. At least DeAndre Ayton can step in, take an easy midi, which he's excelled at in his career. At least he can take one dribble. He has a nice little hook shot he can take. He can get to the paint easily. So, like, when you play with guys like Luka Doncic, like you said, who excels at getting his bigs open, even if it's not off a lob pass, he has the hand. Like, I don't think people understand, like, the hands thing, too. You can't even throw a pass to Jackson Hayes. He can't catch the ball. He can barely catch the ball off of a normal pass. Like, that is so crazy that little things like that is what I'm asking for, and I get in Ayton. And I think it's been a while since we've had like a guy be excited to be our center, joining the Lakers, and I think he's motivated. Like, he hears the noise. Like, that's why I said it's gonna be a really good season. Like the Luka disrespect from the Mavericks, how they just continue to talk about his name in the media. Luka's locked in. DeAndre Ayton, the whole world saying he's trash, he's garbage. Who cares that he signed with the Lakers? Whatever. We got LeBron James, people talking about him leaving. Whatever. Like, we got so much ammo and fuel. Austin Reeves is coming off the worst, I feel like the most choked job I've ever seen in the playoffs in recent history. He had the most, I'll just say like this, Austin Reeves had a chance to average like 25 points per game in that series for Timberwolves. That's how many open shots he had.
What did he
Absolutely garbage. Huh?
What did he average?
I don't know. I can't say off the top of my head.
I like small ball Rui over Jackson Hayes any minutes, bro. Like, going,
and that's the problem, though. We have to even think about that.
Yeah, like,
because Rui at center is horrible.
Yeah.
Like,
the only good game when Rui had 5 was against the Nuggets when he's going.
I love Rui. Rui is one of my. He's a cool guy, but like, I'll say this: we got to stop being attached to role players. And this is for every fan base. You can't be scared to move role players and replace them. Like, it's just real. It's real talk. You can't get so attached to these guys. It's okay to be attached to your superstars, whatever. But, like, if you have to make a move here, like, I see people on my timeline, I'm so delusional. Like, why would you trade Rui? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Rui can't do any wrong. He does everything. And then you list, like, 5-6 things that he doesn't do. Then I'm like, okay, you're like, well, he's cool. He can hit a catch and shoot shot. But can he defend?
Who are those people, and are we watching the same Rui? Because Rui ain't that fucking good, bro. Like,
anytime I post a Lakers video talking about Rui or Reeves, flood. I don't know where these fans come from. Oh, he's so good. Oh my, why would you get rid of Rui? Like, it's that
Reeves versus Rui. Is it like Reeves is a couple tiers above Rui?
No, listen.
Oh,
Rui,
for sure.
This is about to be Rui's what, 6th season, 7th season?
Oh, more than that, right?
Bro.
We're going on 9 or 10. Right?
Yeah.
No. Rui's still young. I think Rui's like 25.
Yeah, maybe not.
Bro.
Maybe it's like 7 or 8. I'll say 8. This is like year 8 for him.
Rui is not that good, bro. Like Rui's not trash, but like
Rui's not as good as we're making him out to be.
If we move him on, I'm gonna be hurt. Like, bro, it's Rui Hachimura. Like, come on, man. He's good, but like, no. I like Vando over Rui.
I think this is 6th. If Vando could shoot, yes.
Vando's defense is going to be vital this year. Like, they're gonna need Vando for at least 65 games this year, bro. Like,
I'm gonna be completely honest. Nah, I'm not gonna say that yet. We both. Sometimes I gotta hold what I say.
My bad. What did I miss?
I'll just say I'm a big fan of Jake LaRabia.
Oh yes. Even though he will not start,
I agree.
His defense, but Jay Larry's gonna hit some threes. That's all he needs. Hit some threes.
He's just if I had to choose between putting Jake LaRabia in the starting lineup and Rui, I would choose Jake easily, just because like baseline, he has a way higher defensive IQ. Like, I'm not saying he's the best defender in the world, but he understands like how to read lanes. Like, he's way better than Rui Hachimura. Like, baseline, he's a way better defender than Austin Reeves. So by those metrics, I'm cool off of moving off of Rui Hachimura, bro. I'm cool off of moving off of Don't Connect. Like, get those guys off my team if we can upgrade.
I'm not giving up on Connect, bro. He shows me shit all the time. That's like
He got it in him, time bro. With the Lakers. He's not right for the Lakers. I think they should capitalize on that asset.
No.
A little bit.
That trade messed up his confidence badly.
Oh, it did 100%. Like,
I hear that.
Like, Connect is still good, bro. I just seen that Summer League shit last night. I know Summer League don't mean nothing.
It's so toxic though, Jay. It was 1 out of 3 games.
He has it in him, bro. I know he was.
Okay, look. If we go, the only way Don't Connect in my mind, like, okay, you absolutely changed. If he goes to the Summer League and he averages 30, that's the only way. Floor 30, 28 floor. If he goes to Summer League and drops down, I'm like, okay, we got to move. Because his defense is so bad, you got to show me he's just this all-time offensive production scorer for me to be like, okay, we have to keep this guy. That's the only way. Because when I'm watching him in the Summer League, he can't defend a fly. And we're talking about, like, bro, these are your peers, bro. If you can't guard these guys, you're not guarding anybody as a high rotation level player in the NBA like you weren't last year.
Not
even they was putting him in switches.
How do you like Cole? Earl?
Probably his teammates peers.
Same thing. He's been doing that. We've been to the ropes. Great elite shooter, but he can't guard a fly. If you can't guard anything, you cannot play key rotational minutes unless you're going out there and giving me 18 points per game off the bench as a 6-man of the year candidate. Just saying.
That's why Jordan Goodwin was playing last year, because he actually tries on defense. Like,
exactly. And he can rebound randomly.
Offense is pretty nasty. We saw that 20-second span against the Celtics last year. Worst 20 seconds of basketball I've ever seen. Well, he plays defense. He tries. You feel me?
Yeah. I don't know. That's just my rundown. It's been a minute since
I like the signing though, bro. W signing.
Yeah, me too.
You have a couple extensions to mention here. Chet Holmgren just got his bag.
Yep.
Was it 5 years, close to $200?
A lot of mid.
5 years, 250. Shea got looking like the same amount as well.
Well, yeah, Shea got what, 280? Well, Shea got 4 years, 287. His was
yeah.
That's getting 5 years, 250. So longer contract, but way less per year than Shea.
Technically,
so
230,
which is massive. And then I believe Paolo got what, 4 years, 287, or 4 years, 280, somewhere around there.
I think it was a max rookie extension for 5 years.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it was for 5 years though.
Was it 5? Let me see. It's either 4
whatever
or 5.
Paolo got,
5 years. Sorry.
Whatever Paolo got is fully deserved.
He need that and more, bro.
He need at least 300.
East. He's the second best player in the East right now.
I'm just surprised that.
Who's the first best player in the East?
Giannis.
I don't know about second best in the East, but Paolo does definitely deserve his money.
If you're saying Giannis at first, I don't think he's second, brother.
What do you think? Who's over Giannis? Omar, who's over Giannis?
Who's over Giannis?
Nobody. That's the.
I think if you have a healthy Embiid, probably Embiid, but.
Wait, you say Giannis over who?
I don't count Embiid no more.
What are you saying?
He's saying that Paolo's the second best player in the East.
Jordan, Jay is
I would still say Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell over him. But
man, this is Paolo we talking about, bro. He's
Listen,
averaging
Jalen
30, bro.
Brunson?
Nothing wrong with being the 4th best player in the East. That's
No.
not
Yuck!
it.
Listen.
Earl, I
He
don't know
is-
if you're able to discuss. All you say is Jalen Brunson hate.
He is.
I'm not
averaging 30
hating.
and
He's
10
not him.
in two playoff seasons. Oh, in a good.
You said
sample size
Jalen
games.
Brunson is better than who?
Jalen Brunson is
I mean,
nowhere near Paolo.
Paolo's not in his prime yet. Like, we've still yet to see the best.
That's the thing, and he's still better than Brunson in his prime.
No, he's
You
not.
take him over Donovan Mitchell too?
Absolutely right. And he's 22
my
years old,
brother.
23. It's way better than Mitchell.
I think in a year or two, probably. But like,
Not
if we're
right
just
now, bro.
ranking
As of-
right now,
Okay, so
Mm.
Jalen Brunson, 26 points per game, 2 rebounds, 7.3 assists. Paolo Banchero, 26 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, 4.8 assists. I will admit, obviously, Jalen Brunson is a better 3-point shooter, shooting 38%. Paolo is at 32%.
I mean, when
And
we're
this
going
is-
with that,
May I remind you, this is year 3 of Paolo Banchero. 3, uno,
And
dos,
I'm not-
tres.
and I'm not saying he won't be better in 3 more years. Or
He's better this year. Right now, he's a better player. Easily.
It's better right now,
Nah.
bro.
I think
Easily.
Jalen
I-
Brunson-
And this
Other-
year, did y'all forget what Paolo was averaging before he got hurt? Paolo Banchero was averaging 30 a game before he got hurt.
Y'all are not
32 a
And
game
then what he
before he
do in the
got
Celtics
injured.
series? He was giving the Celtics work. He was
Yes.
the one
I'm
doing
not
good.
hating- Y'all make it sound like I'm just disrespecting Paolo. I think he's the top probably 15 player in the league.
No, 15.
Yeah,
Yes. I don't
Yeah.
think it's crazy to not have Paolo in the top 10.
guys, come
I don't
on.
think that's crazy.
He's top 10.
We got 20 something people per roster, and you're telling me he's top 10?
Bro,
Yes, Omar,
Paolo
you're telling me he's
Banchero.
Oh god.
Name me. Okay, so okay, I guess
If Paolo Banchero was on the Knicks,
I'm with
y'all
Max.
would have went to the
I'm not
NBA
disrespecting
Finals.
him, but
I don't buy that.
I don't buy that either.
All
but
right, so who-
maybe if he had, maybe if it was JB and Paolo, yeah, not.
No, if you put any point guard with Paolo on that Knicks team and keep that roster, they go
Have
to
you
the
guys-
finals.
Have you guys
Nah.
been seeing
Easily.
NBA
It would have to be
Twitter
JB.
Easily.
It would have to be
No,
JB.
it wouldn't.
I think Paolo and I think Paolo and JB.
That's
would
why
work
you're
together well.
stuttering.
I was trying to get it out. I said it too fast. Leave me alone.
Whole lot of cap cooking up.
That's why you were the one wearing it. That's why I smell it.
Okay, so Shea,
I'm just saying, bro.
Luka,
Jokic,
Jokic,
Giannis.
Giannis, Wemby, and
The big
Edwards,
Luka.
LeBron.
Paolo's better than Wemby as of right now. Wemby's not better than Paolo right now.
No, okay.
He's not better than
no.
Paolo
Come on, dog. Come
He's not
on,
better than-
dog.
Yeah.
Wemby hasn't
I'm with
sniffed
it.
the playoffs, bro. He hasn't even sniffed the playoffs. We don't
I'm
know
gonna
what
cover
Wemby
my
is.
eyes
And
for
he
this
just missed
atrocity.
a half a season.
That's-
Wemby
Why
hasn't
y'all?
been-
Why?
hasn't
Okay,
been
but
well.
let me ask you. a
Jay, I
question.
love
Why-
you. Jay, I love you
Let me
only
ask
because
you a
I
question, though.
see
Why we
I see
giving-
myself in you.
Bro,
Because this is what I've done. This is what I've done for Jalen.
But why are we giving Victor this Mickey Mouse pass though?
Mickey
This is not
Mouse
a Mickey
pass.
Mouse pass.
This
He
is a
isn't
one in a
like-
generation type of player.
Why is he not
What are
in
you
the
talking
playoffs
about?
already?
He's played way less games than Paolo and played no playoff games. How does Wemby have so much range?
Okay, you did Jalen Brunson's versus Paolo's stats. Pull up Victor's stats, and if we're talking,
I
about
have him
Paolo's
right
stats,
here. Victor
Jalen Brunson has
averaged.
more
Victor
playoff stats than
Wembanyama
Paolo.
averaged 24 points per game, 11 rebounds, and 3.4 assists. Paolo Banchero averaged 26 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, 4.8
How many
assists.
blocks? We should include that because that
Blocks
was a
don't
higher
matter.
number.
Oh, here we go. Okay, blocks. 3.8 blocks. My bad.
He's- I mean,
That's
3.8
it.
blocks
That's
for Paolo
that's what-
Banchero. I meant for
that's
Victor
what-
Wembanyama.
but that's
I
what
would
makes him
rather
special
start-
too, though. That's the thing.
I would
That's the
start a
thing about
franchise
Victor
with Wemby, but he's
Wembanyama
not
is the
better
fact that
than
he's
Paolo.
so easily great at defense.
And
Okay,
you're talking about
but-
he's better. Wemby's gonna be better this year too.
Guys,
Okay, let's
guys,
do it then. Let's
let's pump
do
the brakes.
it.
Let's
Let's
pump
do
the
it
brakes.
though. What I'm saying is, Wemby, let's do it. I
Let's pump
keep
the brakes.
seeing Wemby get slid into all these conversations before he has any accomplishments that add up to
Nothing,
winning.
bro. We only can talk about blocks with Wemby, bro. He just missed half of the
What
season
team-
this
He
year.
has a much worse. First of all, he's played 2 years, and the
I agree
Spurs
with that
roster
one, yeah.
until now has been far worse.
So have the Magic. The Magic
Not
just got
really.
good because of Paolo and Franz.
I mean,
Because of those two guys.
And
they'll have a much better season
Victor
this year. I'll agree with
Wembanyama.
that.
Okay, look. Okay, we'll see this year. I mean, they got the All-Star team over there on the Spurs way better than right now. Well, now obviously Magic re-up too. They got Bane, but I'm saying like
I think the Magic have a better roster around Paolo.
Honestly, I think they're the dark horse.
That Magic team had no shooting. That Magic team last year had 0 shooting. The reason they lost to the Celtics is because nobody could hit threes. That team was garbage from three.
That's the reason why I had Orlando, because I really thought their 3-point shooting would actually prevail.
Johnson, Jeremy Shohan, all those guys on role players. Who else is on that team now?
I think
De'Aaron Fox
supporting cast is way better than the Magic supporting cast, bro. Like
guys, we can't use De'Aaron Fox. Don't use De'Aaron Fox because De'Aaron he was there for like 10 games.
So
you're supposed to lead them into the playoffs when you're barely playing 10 games? What is that?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Luka led us to the playoffs.
Stop it.
We were borderline 8.
You guys actually had something.
Borderline 8 seed.
9 games and they got injured.
Came to the team, led us to the playoffs. Talk to me.
Magic went 41-41.
It's levels.
I understand they're in the East. That matters. They went 41-41 with 3 of their best players missing over half the season.
100%.
And Paolo was
that's true too. The Magic could have easily been a top 3 seed.
50 games this year. They would have easily won 50 games last year.
But
they won 41
that just
games.
goes to show you that they have a better cast surrounding Paolo than the
Spurs. They were bad.
Like I said,
guys. You guys are making the point for him at this point. If the Magic did better than the Spurs with the surrounding cast, doesn't that mean the Orlando Magic have a better roster around Paolo Banchero?
That's not true.
Come on! You guys
made the argument. Listen, before I made the argument, they are in the East, which I understand. They're in the East. They're in the East.
What does that matter? The West is the same. They're just closer.
No. Don't talk about my West like that. The Mickey Mouse East.
The West is elite.
Where you can rest your players for 7 weeks and still be a 3rd seed. Come on, bro. Get out of here with that. There's only 7 teams who compete. What was the difference between 3rd seed and 4th seed? Like what? 10 spots? 10 games?
What are you saying?
I said them being in the East obviously helped their chances of going 500. But when he plays, they're winning games, bro. Like
when Paolo plays, are winning games, of course.
Bro dropped the first 50-point game of last season against the Pacers. I was at that game versus the Pacers. Dropped 50.
The only
we're comparing.
The only point that we're trying to make here is the fact that Orlando actually has a roster. You guys said it yourself. They achieved a better record with people that were not Paolo Banchero, Jalen.
That's not what I said. I said they didn't. I said they lost games when they went out.
Well, that's not what Jay said.
Time out. Remember what you said? No. Let me add to what you said. Remember what you said? And I'm a praise your hot take.
Right.
The Magic will fall when Paolo Banchero got injured.
Yeah, 100%.
You said that. We stuck on that.
And I did.
And I said the opposite.
That doesn't mean
you were right. Okay. They fell from 3rd all the way down to like 5th or something for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had a significant 100%. Drop. They went on a losing streak. They played terrible basketball when he got injured. Mm-hmm. And then when he came back, what happened? They slowly let me start rising up.
Again, that only goes into what
I'm saying. But if he wouldn't have came back, they would have went all the way down to the play-in. Even further than that.
Jalen Suggs really did start to hold them up. That's the thing, guys.
But even before, what were the Spurs before Victor got hurt?
They were like
before. They were like 8-9. They were in the 8-9 race. They were.
Okay. No, I think they're in the 9-10 race. They're in the play.
That's not we're talking about a spot, man.
In a more stacked West. I don't think it's fair to hold.
You said they had a worse roster than the Magic?
I think the Spurs have a worse roster than the Magic.
It's not fair to say he hasn't had playoff success in that short a time span. I don't think you can.
Guys. KCP, Gary Harris, Anthony Black, Jet Howard, Goga Bitadze, Wendell Carter, who we had a debate being one of the worst centers in the NBA. What are y'all talking about?
Okay, so who do the Spurs did the Spurs have other than De'Aaron Fox, who played 10 games with Wemby, who was
Devin Vassell, Stephen Castle,
Keldon Johnson,
the rookie of the year, meanwhile.
Are any of them better than Franz Wagner?
Bro, no.
Any of them,
That's 2 guys, bro. It's Franz, Paolo, Suggs ain't play, and then there's a huge drop-off. You have Stephon Castle, you have De'Aaron Fox, Victor Wembanyama, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell. Bro, that's 5 players.
Keldon Johnson's not that prevalent.
Bro, Keldon Johnson averages more than 10 points a game.
Okay,
bro.
Devin Vassell put up 16 points per game this season.
Bro, y'all
okay,
bugging.
so are we saying
We're
he's a better second banana than Franz?
We're comparing the Magic's roster last season to the Spurs.
That's the term.
The Magic had one of the worst sporting casts.
Second banana definitely is not the term.
Thank you.
Banana, bro. What are we talking about?
Is that not Scottie Pippen's nickname?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I've heard that phrase before.
I've never heard that one before.
Are you talking about wet bananas? That flight says?
Oh, no.
That's actually crazy, bro.
The Magic disrespect.
Stephon Castle, rookie year, he averaged 15 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. That's two guys already averaging 14 plus points per game. So I'm pretty sure that kind of evens out.
The Magic
with
has
the
had
Franz
a bottom
Wagner
5
thing.
offense for 15 years, guys. 15 years, bottom 5 offense.
And
that roster is bad, bro.
How many games did the Magic win in the playoffs last year when they made it? They won 3, right?
No, they lost to Boston in 5.
No, I'm saying last. Okay, 2
last Cleveland series. Oh yeah, they went to 7. They went to 7.
Okay, so right now, in year 2 of their career, right now, I'm saying Paolo has 3 playoff wins and Wemby has 0.
Yeah.
Let's see what Wemby. He is a year behind Paolo. So let's see how he does this year. This is the first year.
That's fair. That's fair.
That was my whole debate. Is that Paolo has been there, and when he's
when they make it to the second round, it's cooked.
Okay. So you're saying Paolo over Wemby because of playoff success. But
as
then you
of
can't
right
use
now,
that argument when Jalen Brunson has had way more playoff success than Paolo in the last few years. But then in that argument, playoff success doesn't matter. But when you're doing Paolo,
but if you do it, if we're still keeping it, no, you're talking about if we're keeping it between the years that they've been in, like
I was gonna say that this guy's.
If we're talking about 3 years, Wemby to Paolo Banchero, both of these guys.
Jalen Brunson with the Knicks. What year is Jalen Brunson?
Not Knicks. We're talking about NBA
for 8 years, bro.
Okay, let's start now. When Jalen Brunson started to be effective as soon as he got to New York,
But why does he get stipulations?
It's only been 3 years.
Bro. He was a good player.
Why does he get stipulations then?
What about
We're talking about first experience. These guys. I'm talking about. First of all, Jalen Brunson.
You're comparing the number one.
I don't want to roast Jalen Brunson.
I see Brunson frying the Jazz.
I don't want to roast Jalen Brunson on the show,
bro.
He's
been good for years, guys. He's been good for years.
Let me throw another name at you. What about Cade? Where does Cade factor into this? Because Cade is on roughly the same time. 1 year difference. Cade's now made the playoffs. He was a 6th seed. Won 2 games. Very competitive in the playoffs.
I'm above Wemby right now.
Listen,
guys, we really got to implement one person talking at a time. I can't hear everybody at once.
Playoff success is not the biggest factor, but we're comparing a year 2 guy to a year 3 guy. One of those guys have been to the playoffs twice. One has gone 0. That was my whole thing. Brunson
one of
in
them
this
also
conversation
suffered an injury in the second half of the season that prevented him from getting his team into the playoffs.
Max, they were not going to go to the playoffs when they had Wemby and De'Aaron Fox. They were still not winning games. They were trash still.
What was there? Okay, let me see.
I think in 10 games they went 3-7. Let's look it up. In those 10 games, I think they went 3-7.
They weren't going anywhere.
They were not doing nothing. Like they just weren't.
They were with Wemby this year. With Wemby, they were 21-25. Without Wemby, they were 13-23.
All right, go to Stat News and look up Wemby and Fox record together. It has to be under 500.
I don't think it's fair to compare just their tiny 10-game sample size.
That's what I'm saying, Max. They weren't going to.
What I can say is none of this matters.
That's what
you know
saying,
why?
Though, because you
know why?
Then you start. We only brought that up because you guys started comparing playoff success.
None of this matters.
Between a year 2 guy and a year 3 guy. Brunson, I don't know what Brunson had to do with this.
Because
I don't know why he brought him up. I'm not talking about Brunson. I'm talking about Wemby and Paolo.
Yeah.
The reason why none of this matters is because you can be a above average center who was hyped up to have a lot of potential and really kind of underperform in the NBA finals, except for defense, and get paid $250 million in 5 years.
Yeah. Well, no one is sitting up here and saying Wemby or Paolo is worse than Chet. No one.
Remember when Chet was in these conversations?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we were having Chet versus Wemby Rookie of the Year conversation.
Not we.
I was definitely having that conversation.
No, yeah, we were in it, but I was Wemby. There's this French guy, Victor Wembanyama, who can pretty much do everything, and there's this Chet, American-made guy who
I felt like
apparently eats for Thanksgiving eats collard greens and chicken and stuff. Apparently, though, allegedly.
But Max,
you gotta know the lore. It's the lore.
But Max, let me reinstate. As of right now, only as of now, I would take Paolo. for the future,
Chet
I would
Holmgren's
take Wemby
hilarious,
because
bro.
Wemby's defensive upside and everything
Okay.
Wemby can do. But as of now, we're talking right now. Paolo Banchero is better than.
Okay, I mean, listen, I don't think again when we're talking about
I got
the best
Chet.
of the best. I don't think it's like we're not talking about crazy gaps here. Like they're all
You
know,
taking
we're
the NBA
splitting
champ.
here. Personally, I would take based on the Paolo. If we had a healthy Paolo from what we saw last year and a healthy Wemby from what we saw this year, I would take Wemby. I would already take him personally.
I have to agree with
I don't
that.
think that's disrespect to Paolo to saying he's behind.
It's not
I'm
disrespectful.
gonna
I
just
just
take the
very
NBA
strongly
champion
agree.
Chet Holmgren, bro. I beat both of you guys.
I don't think
And
it's
he got
disrespectful
paid.
at all. I just disagree. Like in terms of getting
Well,
to their
Paolo did get
spots,
paid too, my bad.
Wemby has these games where he looks like a baby reindeer. Did you guys see that Bucks game that was on ESPN? That was one of the worst games I've ever seen the center play. He was horrific in that game.
Okay, we can cherry pick games.
No,
where,
but I'm
people
saying though,
are-
when it comes to
Has
getting to
Paolo
your
never had a
spots,
bad game?
bro,
Yeah,
Paolo. My point is, in getting to your spots and looking like you know what you're doing on the court, Paolo has more of that. Wemby has games where he's just doing one-legged threes. He has games where he's taking 10, 11 threes like Wemby. What are you doing right now? Like, that is not your game. Do what you are do your strengths. Get into that paint, get your mid-range shot going. Paolo
Okay.
gets into his shots more, and it
So
looks more
So
fluid.
you talk about offensive output and getting to your spots. Paolo this past season shot 45% from the field, 32 from three. Wemby, again, a year behind, shot 47.5% from the field, 35 from three. So he's already a more efficient offensive player based on those stats. Not by a wide margin, but he is more efficient.
Let's look at
I mean, if I was never mind.
I
Let me
mean,
see.
listen,
I
If
mean,
I was
look,
7'6",
that's-
I could just put my hand up under the rim and shoot 75% or 80% on the night.
Okay,
I would
then-
too.
We
Okay,
cannot talk about.
we could say that
Wemby
with every
field goal
7-footer in the league,
I'll take
man.
the 3-point percentage, but
I'm
field
just
goal
saying.
percentage.
We could say that
He's-
about Ayton.
Layups, like it's.
But
You can say that about DeAndre Ayton.
I'll give you the
He's also
3-point
a better-
percentage though.
Don't
Yeah,
you?
Wemby's definitely a better 3-point shooter
I
than
gotta-
Paolo right now. I'll give you that, and the defender. That's it. When it comes to
You
passing,
just named like maybe the two of the biggest factors.
no,
of
I was just about to
basketball.
give you some. He's a better rebounder than Wemby. He's a better passer than Wemby. He's a better scorer overall than Wemby.
Paolo averaged 7 rebounds a game last year. Wemby averaged 11. Again,
Bro, he's
I
7
know
foot.
he's 7
He's
foot.
7'19", bro. Okay.
Yes, we
It's
can't
like,
hold that
bro.
against him. We don't.
Yeah, we
hold
can't
Wemby has
hold
had
his
multiple games under 10 rebounds. He
should
never have a game under 10 rebounds.
What about Taco Fall? I mean, what about all those great, really tall players that couldn't grab a board?
Taco Fall wasn't drafted number 1 overall in the draft.
Okay, and neither was Paolo Ben. I mean, well, that was wrong. Hold on.
Whoa!
I almost said something wrong. I know. I
Casual
almost.
alert.
All right.
Casual alert.
I almost
Paolo
slipped up
Ben-
there.
LeBron.
Fair. I almost slipped up. Fine, but
Robin?
Casual
I stopped myself.
alert. Nah, it's too
Paolo's-
late, bro.
Paolo's
You're cooked.
being-
All your arguments are canceled for
He's
the day.
LeBron reincarnated, bro. Like, we're seeing Baby Braun and we're all denying it right now. Besides me.
Ah.
Earl's
Again,
denying it because he's Baby Braun.
By
baby.
the end of next year,
Way bigger.
after another year of LeBron and Curry and Durant aging, there's a good chance I'll have Paolo on my top 10. Very good chance. I'm not trying to disrespect him. I think there's a lot of people that wouldn't even have him top 20. I would say those guys aren't watching the games. If you don't have him top 20,
Those
I don't think
guys,
it's crazy to say he's like 11, 12, 13.
those
right
guys
now.
need to
like
stick
he's
to
on that
tennis.
cusp.
If they- if
Let me
he's
see
not in
one
that.
more step. Let me see
The
one
rise
more
and
really good
fall
season
of
from him.
Jalen
Let me see
Brunson.
some of those other guys take
Why
a
are we
step back.
talking about
Yes,
you?
I'll be ready to put him in the top 10.
Written by Earl Ross. Oh, that's gonna be
He's
good
too-
look when I publish.
Max, he's 12 at worst. 12 at worst.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. I'm
literal
not going to
worst.
sit here and I think that's a fair range. Like 11, 12, 13. I think that's a fair range.
Can we do it? Can we do a top 10 real quick? Because I got to prove my point.
Okay,
So-
should I say my top 10? And then you can pick
All right,
that
go.
apart if
Go.
you'd like.
I'm counting.
All right.
Shea, Jokic, Giannis.
For my money, I'll take Shea over Jokic. I like defense. Giannis. Do I put Tatum in there or are we not counting?
Absolutely.
Well, I'm saying, okay, so I'm allowed to put injured like guys at their peak.
Yeah, I still have Tatum. Yeah.
Like, okay, Tatum is in there. I don't know if Wemby is 5 on my
Oh,
list. He's
okay.
definitely in my top 10.
All right, no injuries. This is going in the next season top 10.
Okay, going into the next season, no injuries. Wemby is definitely in there. Braun is still in there.
6.
I still think Durant is in there. I'll be
Wait,
honest.
Bron's in top 10?
Yes, Earl. I've always had Braun in my top 10. I've never not.
That's 7.
Maybe some other people
I
have.
don't know, bro. That's coming from me.
I still think he's there. Luka is still there.
8.
I'm probably ready to give Ant Edwards top 10 after another conference finals, and I'll still stand on Jalen Brunson. I will still stand on that. I still think that's fair.
Jalen Brunson, top 10 NBA player right now?
Yes. Conference finals.
Yeah,
okay.
Easily.
So
I'll stand on that. And then once you get to that next tier, that's like Paolo, Cade, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, guys like that.
The only one I can argue with is Brunson. I think LeBron is top 10 as well at 55 years old. LeBron is elite.
Okay, so really, it's really like you have him 10 and I have him 12.
He's either 9 or 10.
Okay, so we're really in agreement. We're basically in agreement.
Like, being in the top 10 is not being in the saying you're top 10 and saying you're top 12 is two different things. I don't want to say he's top 12 because I think he's top 10.
It just comes down to like Cade versus Paolo or Brunson versus Paolo. I mean, I think Tyrese Halliburton is still, I think you could argue, maybe not top. He's not top
Halliburton's
10.
top 20.
Top 10. Probably top.
Not,
he's in like that 20 to 15.
All right. Can I give my top 10? I'll give my top 10. So
top 10.
I'm giving, and this is going to end it off here. We do have to start our 2-minute drill directly after this. So if you guys are not in that room, go ahead. I'm going to link it for you guys right now so you guys can join that room if I can copy this to save my life.
I didn't even mention Curry. Like Curry.
Yeah.
Maul, what's up, gang? I ain't hear from you in a minute.
Yep. Join if you guys want to see us there in a few minutes. This is going to kind of end off our video here.
Yeah, Mal talking about Cade, like it just comes down to Paolo versus Curry, Cade versus Paolo.
So for my number one spot, I'm gonna get number one out of the way because my opinion is pretty easy. I'm gonna take a Shea. 32.7 points per game. Easy. Jokic, non-explanatory. Giannis, non-explanatory. Luka, non-explanatory. Wemby.
That's who I don't have in my top 10. Wemby.
I got Wemby at 5.
I also had
I have Wemby at 5 specifically.
I don't know if I go 5 yet, but
I think he's a generational player.
This is an order? This is an order.
Nah, never mind. It's not an order. You're right. It's not an order.
Because you said SGA over Jokic. Jokic is the best player in the entire world. It's not a debate.
I'm ordering my top 3 or 4.
I'll do this. I'll order the top 3, but I won't do the rest. Like Max just said, I'll do that, and I'll stick to my order. It's Shea, Jokic, Giannis,
and then past that, we're just naming top 10 guys.
Okay, so then Luka, Jason Tatum, Victor, JB, Donovan Mitchell, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant.
Donovan Mitchell. That's KD's another guy who I do not have in my top 10. I do not think KD's a top 10 player.
That's fair enough.
He's still 27 on. He's putting.
However, I will say
efficiencies. He's still. If he plays like this on Houston, he's gonna be. And then he's on a good team. Wait till KD's putting these stats up on a top-seeded Western Conference.
I will say I wanted to throw Ant Edwards into this list too, but I do feel like
top 10. And
I do feel like KD got that slight edge over him. That's that. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on this episode of the Beyond the Backboard Podcast. Make sure to hit that link and join our Beyond the Backboard Podcast room. We're going to be in there shortly doing our 2-minute drill episode. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate every single one of you guys. And